results of the electronic ballots for the 2021 annual business meeting. The results of the international officer and director elections will be announced in the order they appear on the ballots. Space on the back of the annual business meeting agenda was provided for you to record these results. The results will also be posted on the Toastmasters International website at the conclusion of this event. As announced during the annual business meeting on August 26, 2021, congratulations to distinguished Toastmaster Matt Kinsey, your newly elected International President-elect. And to distinguished Toastmaster Morag Matheson, your newly elected First Vice President. Now for the results of the International Officer and Director elections. As with the in-person meeting, each candidate appointed an observer who watched the tabulating and verification of the results. For each election, the results of the first ballot will be read. For those elections for which no candidate received the majority of the total votes cast on the first ballot, preferential voting was used to determine who was elected. For the results of the preferential voting ballot, any candidate with the lowest number of votes and those with less than 10% of the votes cast on the first ballot were removed from consideration. Votes cast for this candidate as a first preference were redistributed to the remaining candidates based on the second preference of those voting delegates who had ranked the removed candidate first. The candidate who received a majority of the total votes cast after redistribution is declared elected. There were some voting delegates who did not indicate a preference on the preferential ballot. These have been designated as unexercised votes in the results. This accounts for the difference in total votes cast between the first ballot and the preferential ballot. The results for second vice president are as follows. Total votes cast, 21,173. Necessary for election, 10,587. Russell Drake, 1,058. Roddy Spear, 11,264. David Templeman, 8,851. Invalid votes, 0. The chair declares elected as second vice president, distinguished Toastmaster Roddy Spear. The announcement of the election results will continue with the international director positions. The results for international director from Region 1 are as follows. Total votes cast, 20,775. Necessary for election, 10,388. Louisa Davis, 13,898. E. Tyree Johnson, 6,877. Invalid votes, 0. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 1, Distinguished Toastmaster Louisa Davis. The results for International Director from Region 3 are as follows. Total votes cast, 20,213. Necessary for election, 10,107. Antonio Colorado, 6,771. Michael J. Holian, 13,442. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 3, Distinguished Toastmaster Michael J. Holian. The results for International Director from Region 5 are as follows. Total votes cast, 20,810. Necessary for election, 10,406. Farzana Chauhan, 5,981. Monica B. Rose, 14,829. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 5, Distinguished Toastmaster Monica B. Rose. The results for International Director from Region 7 are as follows. Total votes cast, 20,645. Necessary for election, 10,323. Elmer Hill, 9,802. Perry Neal, 3,882. Dana G. Richard, 6,961. As no candidate received a majority of the total ballots cast, the office of International Director from Region 7 was determined by preferential voting. The candidate with the lowest number of votes on the first ballot was removed from further consideration on the preferential ballot. Votes cast for this candidate as first preference were redistributed to the remaining candidates based on the second preference of those voting delegates who had ranked the removed candidate first. The candidate who received a majority of the total votes cast after redistribution is declared elected. The results of the preferential voting ballot are: total votes cast, 20,319. Necessary for election, 10,160. Elmer Hill, 11,019. Dana G. Richard, 9,300. Unexercised votes, 326. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 7, Distinguished Toastmaster Elmer Hill. The results for International Director from Region 9 are as follows. Total votes cast, 20,751. Necessary for election, 10,376. Ronald Servant, 9,688. Jeff Sobel, 11,063. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 9, Distinguished Toastmaster Jeff Sobel. The results for International Director from Region 11 are as follows. Total votes cast, 20,773. Necessary for election, 10,387. Less than 10% of the votes cast equals 2,077. Solomon Almaty, 1,967. Nazir Kazak Al-Qassem, 1,966. Rosie Rana, 7,728. Ali Shabazz Ali Shah, 9,112. As no candidate received the majority of the total ballots cast, the Office of International Director from Region 11 was determined by preferential voting. The candidate with the lowest number of votes and the other candidate receiving less than 10% of the votes cast on the first ballot were removed from consideration on the preferential ballot. Votes cast for these candidates as first preference were redistributed to the remaining candidates based on the second preference of those voting delegates who had ranked the removed candidate first. The votes cast by those voting delegates who had the removed candidates as their first and second preferences were redistributed to that voting delegate's third preference. The candidate who received the majority of the total votes cast after redistribution is declared elected. The results of the preferential voting ballot are: total votes cast, 20,400. 10,487. Necessary for election, 10,244. Rosie Rana, 9,040. Ali Shabazz Ali Shah, 11,447. Invalid votes 0, unexercised votes 286. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 11, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shabazz Ali Shah. The results for International Director from Region 13 are as follows. Total votes cast, 21,087. Necessary for election, 10,544. Thanamali Lechumanin, 4,251. Gauri Sheshadri, 16,836. The chair declares elected as International Director from Region 13, Distinguished Toastmaster Gauri Sheshadri. Thank you to all the voting delegates who submitted ballots. I would also like to thank Supervising Director Qayyum and the observers who helped with the validation of these results. And a special thank you to our Credentials Chair, led by past International Director Jim Coley and registered parliamentarian Patty Titus for their support behind the scenes. As we have completed our business, without objection, the 2021 annual business meeting will adjourn. If you have an objection, please use the Q&A function and include your name and club number. There being no objection, this meeting is adjourned. Congratulations to all our newly elected international officers and directors. Please join us on Saturday, August 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, UTC-4, for the President's inauguration.